It's Nintendo Today, where I look at what launched in Nintendo's history and take a look at some classified information, like we would find in Nintendo Power. Every morning, I post what released across my socials and in my Discord, so drop your favorite memories or stories, and I'll read some of them right here on the show. Today in Nintendo history, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. Released in Japan on October 21st, 1992, for the Game Boy. Directed by Hiroshi Kiyotake, and produced by Gunpei Yokoi. It introduced Mario's rival, Wario, and sold more than 11 million copies, becoming one of the best-selling titles on Game Boy. This is one of my favorite Game Boy games, to be completely honest. I loved finally playing this on 3DS all the way to completion. It is really, really good, and I highly recommend you check it out. And we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into this one later in the episode. Next up, we have Game Boy Color, launched in Japan on October 21st, 1998. Nintendo's first full-color handheld, kept full backwards compatibility, extending the Game Boy's life well into the 2000s and cementing Nintendo's handheld dominance. The Game Boy Color was my first Game Boy, and I got the lime green with Pokemon Yellow and Mario Golf, and I played this thing way too much. Who knows how many AA batteries I went through with my Game Boy Color. Next up, Pokemon Emerald, released in Europe in 2005 for the Game Boy Advance, developed by Game Freak, and it refined the Ruby and Sapphire formula, added the Battle Frontier, and featured Rayquaza on the cover. Lastly, we have Donkey Kong Country 3, which re-released in Japan on October 21st, 2008 for the Wii Virtual Console. Originally a Super Famicom classic starring Dixie Kong and Kiddy Kong, the digital re-release brought this platformer to a whole new generation of players. Now, let's go ahead and deep dive into Super Mario Land 2 and the 6 golden coins. In Super Mario Land 2, Mario returns from the events of the first Super Mario Land to discover that his childhood rival, Wario, has taken over Mario Land. Wario casts a spell across the island, convincing everyone that he's the hero and Mario is the villain. Mario must collect 6 golden coins scattered across theme zones: Tree, Space, Pumpkin, Macro, Turtle, and Mario Zone to unlock his castle and face Wario. The gameplay expands on the original with ideas from Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3. A world map where you can choose zones in any order, stages that scroll vertically and horizontally, filled with hidden exits. A bell at the goal starts a minigame for 1-ups and power-ups. It also was the first portable Mario title with a save feature, thanks to the battery-backed cartridge that preserved progress after each stage. There are 32 levels total, and if you lose all your lives, the 6 coins return to their bosses, meaning you have to win them back before facing Wario again. Power-ups include the classic Super Mushroom, Fire Flower, Starman, plus brand new item, the Magic Carrot, which turns Mario into Bunny Mario. Bunny Mario can flutter in midair and slow his descent, making tricky jumps easier. Because of the Game Boy's grayscale screen, Fire Mario is marked by a small feather in his cap, a unique detail not seen in any other Mario game. Development began in late 1991 within Nintendo's R&D1 team, led by producer Gunpei Yokoi, and director Hiroji Kiyotake worked alongside Takehayo Hasegawa, who designed many of the game's enemies. The team wanted to break away from the formula of previous Mario titles. At first, their prototype strayed so far that it didn't feel like a Mario game, so they later tuned it to resemble Super Mario World. The plot's focus on Mario reclaiming his own castle was a deliberate twist, fighting for something personal instead of rescuing Princess Peach. Wario's creation reflected R&D1's playful rivalry with Shigeru Miyamoto's EAD team. As Kiyotake put it, Wario is the Bluto to Mario's Popeye. The upside-down M on his hat sealed the idea of Mario's perfect opposite. Music and sound came from Kazumi Tataka, who hid his famous Tataka song on the Game Over screen. Wait 2.5 minutes and you'll hear it. The team used unique sound effects instead of recycling those from Super Mario World to help the Game Boy version feel distinct. Upon release, Super Mario Land 2 received critical acclaim for its creativity and technical achievement. It became one of the Game Boy's highest rated and best selling titles, launching Wario's career as Nintendo's ultimate anti hero in Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, and beyond. The game was later re released on the Nintendo 3DS Virtual Console in 2011 and on Nintendo Switch Online Game Boy Library in 2023. Now, it's time for some classified information. Wario's name fuses Mario with the Japanese word Wario, meaning bad. So, literally, bad Mario. The Magic Carrot power up began as a design test for animating floppy ears on the Game Boy's tiny sprite grid. It became Bunny Mario because the animation looked smooth and readable. The Mario Zone world is shaped like a giant mechanical version of Mario himself, filled with toy enemies and gears, one of the most creative level ideas in any Mario game. Now, here's a game tip. Each zone hides at least one secret exit that changes the overworld map. In Pumpkin Zone 2, look for an invisible door near the end that leads to a hidden bonus stage full of 1-ups and coins. If you're replaying on Nintendo Switch Online, take your time exploring. Some secrets were easy to miss on the original screen. Before we wrap this up, I want to make sure that I read some comments from the community. First up, we have Jimmy Pike, who said, I got this game Christmas of '92, along with my Super Nintendo and Game Boy fanny pack. This and Christmas 1996, when I got my N64, are my two favorite childhood Christmases. Man, I miss being a kid. Next, we have Holly with 2 Ys over on X that I love this game so much growing up. It was brutal though. I never got past having 2 coins because I'd die and have to restart. And that is the truth. This game is brutal. So I'm going to challenge you. If you decide to play this on Nintendo Switch Online, let me know how far you can get without using the rewind feature. Before we go, I want to know, what was your favorite part of Super Mario Land 2 when you played it as a kid? That is going to do it for Nintendo Today. Thanks for watching, and remember, play it loud.